Welcome to Updates, a podcast made possible through the Cedarburg Public Library Radio. This program features news and information about the League of Women Voters of Ozaukee and Washington County. I'm Victoria Benson Hora, and today, in our fourth episode, you will meet Susan Waldo. Susan is a League board member and serves as the chair of the membership committee. She's also working on a special project coming up at the end of May, which she will tell us about later in the podcast. But first, welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Victoria.
So on membership, can you tell us a little about yourself? How did you learn of the League, and how long have you been a member?
Well, I was invited to attend the Women's History Brunch in 2017 by a friend. I ended up joining after it because I was really impressed with the speaker. It was an immigration attorney, and with the book that they had been working on for their book club, which was Evicted, which I had currently been reading. So I thought, this is a group for me, and so I joined.
All right, so you joined, and then the next step, all of a sudden you're a membership chair. How did that happen?
Well, first, the funny story is the first year I pretty much just attended events. I really didn't have a lot of intention of being very involved. But I was asked, because someone knew I was a big reader, to take care of the book talk for the next year. So it was a board position at that time. So I finally found a book that I wanted to do, and we had all the plans made, and COVID hit. COVID began and changed everything.
Indeed.
It changed us all for a couple of years. And that year, at the end of that year, I was asked to be the membership chair. And again, it was 2020. And so things had to be done a little bit differently. But we still got new members. COVID, I think, with all the time people had at home, just were looking for things to do, things to join, things to become active in. And we learned all about Zoom. We were very grateful to have Zoom. We had our meetings on Zoom, and once we were able to meet outside. We met outside at parks, and the first time I had a group, it was new members. There were probably a dozen of us. We met at City Park here in Cedarburg, and several of them have become very involved. One of them was Christy Schwann, who is now has been president now for 3 years. That is the start, and I've been membership chair now for 4 years.
I know that you also put great interest in members getting to know each other and people getting together. And you added something new to the membership chair job with Saturday mornings.
Yes, actually, the thing about at our group, as we grow, it's hard, to actually get together. We have lots of events, but I wanted a social event, and where we could learn about each other and learn more about what was going on in the league, and just have a great chance to gather. So I started doing coffees. I am a coffee shop friend everywhere. I know about them in all the counties, and so we would have many coffees on the weekends, and whoever could come would come, and also interested members. And we got many members that would come and join because they liked what we were doing. Yeah. So,
all right. Speaking of members, then obviously the league has grown. Can you tell us a little bit about that path and how many members are in the Ozaukee League right now?
Actually, we have grown considerably, and most members find us. With what's going on in the world, people are anxious again. They're anxious to become involved, and they find us. They find us through other members. They find us through our events. And I don't have to recruit, but I encourage members to bring their friends. And
what is the membership now?
Membership now is, this last week, for example, I just got 5 new members. We just got 5 new members. And this is almost the end of our fiscal year. So it's amazing. We are now at about 163 members.
Oh, my goodness.
Which is more than double of what it was when I began being membership chair. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for the way that we have grown.
And I understand some of the growth is because we've expanded now, Ozaukee and Washington County.
Exactly. We there were people that were interested from Ozaki County, so we decided, well, yes, they don't have a league. They would go to the state league, and they said, well, the closest one is Ozaki County to you. So last May, so it's been almost a year, we went to national and to state. We had to get their approval, and so now we are League of Women Voters of Ozaki and Washington counties.
So how many leagues are there in Wisconsin?
In the state, we have 20 leagues.
And how does this group rank now? 161 plus is a lot of members.
We are now third in the state. The first two largest are Dane County and Milwaukee County, of course, and they're quite a bit larger than us, but we're getting up there for the size of our two counties, and I think we'll continue to grow because Washington County is a big county. We really have just tapped into it, mainly the West Bend area.
Of course. So how does one go about joining? How do they find you? How do they find the league?
Well, basically, I'm always telling people we have a wonderful website. It's LWVOZ.org, and you can join online, and it's so convenient now. We also have many different membership options as far as pricing, which the state and national wanted to be much more affordable. It used to be just an individual and a household. Those were the only choices that we had. And now we have an open door membership where it starts at $20 and afford what you can afford to pay. And then we also have sustaining members who pay more. They pay about $100 just to help maintain the league.
Oh, that's fantastic. So they can also attend any of the free events that the league sponsors. For example, I understand coming up on May 21st, you have an important panel discussion on the topic of gun violence and the impact on children. And I'd really like to hear some more about this and how the league came to choosing this topic as an educational outreach event.
Well, one of the very cool things about the league is that it's a grassroots organization. They listen to their members, and actually most of the policies come from the grassroots. We are a nonpartisan organization, and the policy, but we are political in that we take stands from the grassroots going up to determine our policies, and gun violence is one of them. From a national and a state mention. The reason I became excited about this or enthused about this is because I was a volunteer at Children's Hospital for many years, and I actually saw what happens to victims with guns and children. Mm-hmm. Gun violence is a very wide range of topics that you can take.
And a sensitive topic, too,
and
isn't
a
it?
very sensitive and absolutely an important topic.
Mm-hmm.
But we decided this year, the first year to do this, is to focus on gun violence and children.
And you have, 4 panelists, I think, that are going to be speaking. Can you tell us who will be presenting?
We have an amazing panel, and I certainly hope people come. Dr. Megan Schultz is a pediatric emergency room doctor at Children's Hospital, and she will talk about her experiences there. She's also a 1999 graduate of Cedarbrook High School.
Ooh, shout out to Cedarbrook High School. Go Bulldogs.
There you go. And Dr. Abby Noack-Haggis is a clinical psychologist at Wraparound in Milwaukee, and she was going to talk a lot about trauma and anxiety in children. Tyler Kelly is just currently about to graduate from Carthage College. He considers himself a member of the lockdown generation.
Lockdown generation? Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Well, he was born actually after Columbine, but he will tell about his experiences always having lockdown drills from the time he was in elementary school. Uh-huh. And he's very active. He's a student activist and active in many different organizations.
It will be interesting to hear. I've often heard people say, it's just like when we were kids with tornado drills. I experienced these trainings, and it's nothing like tornado drills. And I'm sure he'll get into that and explain what that was like.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And he's got a cute sense of humor. I'm sure he'll tell some stories of what happened in the band room or wherever he was when there was a lockdown drill. But because of that, and because many of the league members are retired teachers and are aware of what lockdown drills were and currently are, I invited a member of the Cedarburg Police Department.
Great.
And he has agreed to show us or tell us. He's not going to show us everything, but he is going to tell us exactly what he does to orient the teachers in case they have, or they do, when they absolutely have these lockdown drills.
The drills, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are definite procedures, and I think it'll be interesting for all the people there listening to actually know what their kids go through.
Absolutely, and what the teachers go through.
And what the teachers go through as well.
Absolutely.
And then I'm sure that the doctors there will probably give some pretty interesting experiences and stories.
Yeah, it's going to be very powerful. It'll be a very powerful event.
And will there be room for questions? These are 4 powerhouse speakers.
Yes, it is at the Cedarburg Cultural Center. I want to stress that it is free and it is open to the public. So we certainly are hoping that many, many people come and bring people with them to share this, because I think so many people are aware of gun violence and its effects. It is Tuesday, May 21st from 6 till 8 p.m. We will have 2 hours. There definitely is going to be time for Q&A. And we are hoping that people go away moved and possibly empowered to see what we can do about gun violence.
Wonderful. Susan, thank you. I know it's a subject close to your heart and a very important one, and I think it's wonderful that it will be brought to our community and give us the opportunity to hear from experts and also ask questions about the impact, about the procedures, and maybe, as you said, come away with some ideas of how we can make a difference. To recap, this free event is on May 21st at the Cedarburg Cultural Center on Washington Avenue in downtown Cedarburg. The discussion begins at 6 p.m., followed by a Q&A till 8 p.m., and pre-registration is not required. Be sure to check out all of the podcasts on the League's website to learn more about our various committees. And you can also find them at cedarburglibrary.com, the CPL radio. This is Victoria Benson Hora. Thank you for listening to Updates.